Hello everyone, this is Yann Camus from Bliss Climbing.
I want to tell you about some cam hooks that I have here. Thank you to Vertical Store. Vertical Store sent me the GrandWall cam hooks that you can see here. And I compared them to the Moses that I have here. And I also know a little bit about the Leeper because I used them for a recent quick ascent of the nose. So let's jump into the details. I'll start with the most useful. So if you're in Yosemite and you're climbing, you will want to know about the narrow. So this is the Moses and this is the GrandWall. And there is slight but very important difference between these two models. The shape is quite the same, but the Moses has some thicker metal. And I don't know if you can see it like this. 3.5 millimeter GrandWall and 4.1 millimeter. And what I noticed, the GrandWall, it's a softer cam hook. So it gives a little bit more when I use it. And compared to the Moses is more rigid. I tried both at my local crag where there's some intrusive, like in Yosemite, but not as bulletproof, not as hard. And what I noticed is some placements, one is better and some others, the other one is better. And I'm not sure which one I like the most. But when I was in Yosemite, I fell twice because of the Leeper cam hook, the narrow Leeper. If you have some very soft rock, you want a soft cam hook because a hard cam hook will bite so much in the rock that it will break the rock. If the cam hook is a little bit softer, it will be easier on the rock, it may hold. Whereas in Yosemite, in the nose, for example, the rock is bulletproof, it's very strong. And all the rock that had to break is probably broken because everyone climbs it. And so a harder cam hook is better on the nose. And for me, it's the Moses. Also, I want to say that with the Moses, the end is a little bit special. It was pressed. And the result is that the edge here bites the rock a little bit better. I like that if the rock is hard, but in soft rock, I suspect that this will even break the rock more compared to a soft edge with the GrandWall.
I have the Granwall, the Leeper, and the Moses, and this is the thinnest, this is the in-between, and this is the thickest. But from my experience on El Cap alone, I like the Moses better, so the strongest, and the one that has some kind of teeth or an aggressive edge here at the end. Moses probably for any bulletproof rock, and if you're going into soft rock territory, then you can look into the GrandWall and the Leeper. They may serve you very well.
You see the difference between the metal, the Moses on the left has bubbles compared to the Leeper and the GrandWall. Please leave a comment if you know why. Now, if we jump to the other go anywhere cam hook, is the wide. The wide by Moses is a little bit wider than the GrandWall. And the thickness of the metal seems quite comparable. So the fact that the Moses is wider, it will be able to accommodate a wider crack than the GrandWall. So if you have a very wide crack with a GrandWall, you would have to jump to the fragile flake. I think this is the go-to cam hook anywhere you climb, and there has been few ascents. But in Yosemite, because of the pin scars, these don't fit well in pin scars, and therefore you have to go for the narrow most of the time. This fits very well in pin scars. The fragile flake, the Moses, is a tiny bit wider than the GrandWall, but it's almost the same. And otherwise, the differences in design are subtle, and I didn't test them very much because I rarely use them in climbs. I would suspect they are equivalent in their use. So then the tiny cam hook, I didn't test it, and this one did not touch the rock. I've heard it holds, and you would have to test for yourself. I suggest you buy one just to have some fun. And then just because I have them, I want to show you some Pika, and I don't think they make them anymore, but I have a kind of narrow and a small. If I compare the narrow to the narrow by Moses, so it's pretty much the same width. The thickness of the metal is very similar. The arm length is longer with the Pika, and the problem with that is that it will add a lot of force. I had two of them, but I broke one because I suspect that the torque is such that it just broke after many uses. And the Pika small is a little bit bigger than the GrandWall small, and also in that case the length of the arm is longer in Pika's model. So thank you for watching. You visit Vertical Store to see the selection of GrandWall cam hooks, and very soon they should get some Moses. Come see my site, blissclimbing.com. See me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.